Well, I didn't mean to stop the video, but oops. Okay, so you should have already tried number 7 before you see this. A water tank holds 256 gallons, but is leaking at a rate of 3 gallons per week. A second water tank holds 384 gallons, but is leaking at a rate of 5 gallons per week. After how many weeks will the amount After how many weeks will the amount of water in the 2 tanks be the same? Remember, with a big word problem, we're going to focus on the question and write out a goal. They're asking how many weeks. I don't know, so that's going to be my variable part. X is going to stand for weeks. They want the 2 tanks to be the same, okay? So they want those 2 tanks to be equal. So I write out my goal in words. Tank 1 equals tank 2. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to grab information about tank 1. And I'm going to write out an expression, okay? All right, the water tank holds 256 gallons, but is leaking at a rate of 3 gallons per week. Oh, I remember in the question they were asking about how many weeks. That's the part I didn't know. So right there, I'm going to go ahead and put my variable. So the 3 is going to go with my variable because it was 3 gallons per week. That's going to be a 3x. Okay, I know this is how much it's starting out with, 256. Hopefully you realize that leaking means that it is losing water. So we are taking away 3 gallons per week. We don't know how many weeks it's going to take for them to be the same, so there's the unknown. On the other side, the second water tank holds 384 gallons, but is also leaking at a rate of 5 gallons per week. Where they said per week, there's my variable, so I can say my 5 goes with my variable. Started with 384 leaking, it's losing, we're taking away from it 5 per week. Okay, so check to see if that matched the equation you wrote on your own. If it doesn't match, you want to write this on your paper so it's right. Okay, now just like we started off, the notes. The variables on both sides, I will find the smaller one. This is really a negative 3x, and this is a negative 5x. I know a negative 5 is smaller than a negative 3. Since it's negative, I need a positive to help cancel it out. So I'm going to travel to the other side of my equals, find that like term, the one with the x, and do that same step underneath it. Cross off your 0 pair. I still have 256 in the front. I work this step, and this is like 5x minus 3x. I get a positive 2x is why I'm putting a plus. I had more positives than I did negatives. Okay, so I go find my variable again. It's attached. I don't want this number on that side. This is a positive, so I need a negative 256. Whenever you subtract, that gives you 128. When they're squished, they're multiplying because that's implied. So I divide to undo it. 2 divided by 2 is just 1. So I just have this 1x, but I don't have to write the 1 because this is just 1. I divide to get 64. Now this x stands for something because it was a word problem with meaning. So if you don't know what word to add, you go back up and see what they were asking for. after how many weeks will the amount of the water in the 2 tanks be the same? So I'm saying after 64 weeks, it would be the same amount. It's very easy to check. I'm going to take that 64 and put it in here to verify my answer. What did I say, 64? Okay, well that's weird. 384 minus 5 times 64. Well, that's magical. I get 64 on both sides, so it checked out. I know I'm good. I know I'm going to get it right. Okay, you're going to put this paper in the notes part of your binder. You're going to come and get the practice page 11.1 from my desk, and that will be your assignment to work on. What you do not finish in class will be your homework.